Kenny Clark, and this is Lombardi's Bar.
This is one of my favorite podcasts to do.
I'm just, blessed and thankful to be a part of this podcast. It's a great podcast. It's a great interview.
Maybe I know that you guys, obviously being the best Packers podcast that's out there.
I had Malort this weekend, so I'm not tasting anything.
Oh, good.
He did.
God.
He did. That was fantastic.
Because it said, "Did you ever try Malort?" And I said, "No." And then I said, "Do you want to take a shot of Malort?" I said, "No," but I did.
Wait, who said
It's called
Peer pressure.
Yeah.
Yeah. I tried to get in a high honors English class once, and they called my parents and were like, "Hey, just tell him he can't do it."
It shows. It really shows.
I hate you guys so much.
I'm going to throw these two guys into the screen so that if I die, they can carry on the legacy of crap that is this show. Oh, hello, Green Bay Packer fans. How are we all doing? If Packers Twitter is any sort of barometer, half of us are ready to jump off of a cliff, and the other half are ready to push that other half off of said cliff. Things are not so great in Packerland. But no matter how bad they are on the field, it's always good here at Lombardi's Bar. I'm your bartender, Dan Connick. Thank you for joining us. If you would, take a second right now, if you haven't done so already, to hit subscribe on the YouTube channel so you get notified every time that we go live here at Game On Wisconsin. Follow us over on Twitter at Game On WI and at Lombardi's Bar. It was a terrible, terrible Sunday again for the Green Bay Packers. And it was so bad that, in fact, Jimmy Christensen has decided to not even show up today. So I'm stuck with Todd Varney here.
What's up?
Hi,
Joe.
Todd, how are you doing?
I'm numb. I think it's just.
I feel like it's a loaded question now for Packer fans. Every time we talk, every time there's an interaction, how you doing? And it's well, we all know that everybody's the proverbial family dog has died. So it's we all know that nobody's doing good.
Yeah, in general, I'm doing fine. I'm I would say I'm pretty good. Until I remember that it's football season and that's going kind of shitty. Mm-hmm. And then I'm just it's Wednesday, whatever, dude. I don't know. More importantly, Dan, how are you? No one cares. No one cares. Let's get Shanna in here.
Let's get Shanna in. Shanna Quinn is joining us today, our resident Bills fan on the podcast. You can catch her on the Packers Radio Network every Sunday with Wayne and Rock on the broadcast. Shanna, how are you doing? Because I feel like you get an interesting perspective on all of this.
It's so funny. We were talking about TikTok before we started this, and there's the TikTok thing right now because nothing's bigger than Taylor Swift right now, right? You either talk about Taylor Swift or the Packers not doing well. And with Taylor Swift, there's the, "Hi, I'm the problem, it's me." And I'm maybe I'm the problem because this is my first season being a part of the Green Bay Packers Radio Network. Hi, the problem is me. So I'm very sorry, Packer fans. It might be me. Very sorry.
We're not going to let you take that blame. But that is part of the reason we wanted you back on the show. We're going to get that Lombardi's Bar bump going in your favor again. Hopefully this time, maybe you can manifest it about the Packers. Because it worked out last time.
I messed up last time and I made it about me. And again, I'm very sorry for that.
That's fair.
Yes. But I'm between a rock and a hard place because, this weekend, of course, the game going to be in Buffalo, the motherland. And everyone keeps saying "Oh, the Packers, the Bills are going to get killed, or the Bills are going to kill them," blah, blah, blah. I'm I don't think so. I don't think that's what's going to happen this weekend. I can't see the Packers losing another game. I can't see them going, losing 4 games in a row. So for me, I'm I want the Packers to get that momentum going again, but I'm also but I don't want my Bills to get smashed because when the Bills lose, it's usually a heartbreaker.
My sweet summer child, Shanna, coming in here, her first season dealing with the Packers, and it's every new week is a brand new they can't possibly lose this game, right? That's what we said the last 3 weeks, Shanna. It's what we said the last 3 weeks.
I know, and I was the person too, and my boyfriend made fun because, like, I kept saying the Giants aren't as good as their record shows. I think that this is all a hoax, right? And then he was like, "You jinx the Packers." And then I was like, "Well, they're going to play the Jets. I mean, the Jets are terrible. The Jets always Jets. They're terrible." And then that happened. So I think I need to stop talking is what needs to happen. I need to just cut my career short and just stop jinxing everything. But I'm trying to be positive about it. I'm going to be positive about the Packers because I'm part of the, broadcast team. So I'm going to be positive. I'm putting the good vibes out there.
Yeah, somebody needs to be positive about the team because
between the two of you, I need to put the sunshine out there.
I mean, I can turn these lights up a bit brighter, I think. Maybe. No, just darker. Just darker. That's the only way they go.
You're as bright as you're gonna get, is what you're saying.
Yeah. That was all maximum brightness right there. So I did mention the Lombardi's Bar bump. Last time you were on, you said you wanted it. You manifested the first to ever manifest their bump. You wanted to become best friends with Erin Andrews and or Kay Adams.
Yes.
Erin Andrews tweeted at you.
Yeah, you guys tagged her. It was very exciting. She tweeted back, and then I was like, "Hey, would love to pick your brain / interview you." And she was like, "Let's go!" And I was like, "Oh my god!" So since she doesn't follow me on Twitter, which why not, Erin?
Her boss,
I tried.
honestly.
Honestly, come on. I tried to message her on there, couldn't. So I went to Instagram, messaged her there. Did not hear anything back. And then I also went through because you can like text her. And I was that person that texted her, which we know
it's all bullshit.
Not really texting her. No response. So nothing from Erin Andrews, but I still listen to her podcast. That's fantastic with Carissa Thompson. They are hilarious. So, maybe today we'll put it out in the universe again. Maybe something will get sparked again.
We'll get back on it. We'll make that happen for you. What was fantastic was it was like a Saturday night at like 8:00 when she responded, and I was like sitting around with my family, and they were like, "What's up?" And I was like, just getting tweeted at by Erin Andrews on a Saturday night. Not a big deal. Just go away."
Oh, I was the same way as you. I was screaming. I was like, I am such a loser that I am so excited right now that Erin Andrews tweeted me back. Which I looked through too. This also makes me such a loser. I looked at her replies like on her Twitter, and she really doesn't reply to a ton of people. So I was like, so you're saying there's a chance? And then there wasn't a chance. But who knows? Who knows?
The best part was that I'm pretty sure Shanna was DMing me and Jimmy separately at the same time. And so then we both went on to, everyone went into the group chat that we have. And so we were all messaging each other, and it's all like, yeah, we all know. It was just like this cascade of, we all know. We're all watching the same thing happen.
Do we know? I'm so bad with like what TV stations carry what games. Is she going to be at the Buffalo game? Because maybe like I can go find
she won't. There. She won't be this week because it's a Sunday night game and she's Fox.
That's dumb.
The dumbest, to be honest.
The dumbest. I would like to complain. I was going to say because I would go find her. Like that would be my mission this weekend since I'm going to the game is to find her there. But
and just like get that tweet blown up really big. And be like,
and put it and be like, you said,
let's go. We can do this. Yeah, that's legally binding. Go. That's a contract.
Yeah, and I even bought stuff from her clothing line. I bought stuff from Wear by Erin Andrews because I'm like, well, we're best friends now, and best friends support each other. Thank you, Emma. You're a good lady.
We need to find a season ticket holder because if I remember correctly, I think how many more home games do the Packers have? It's like 4 or 5. It's about half of the season, right? It's back at home.
It's like 5.
We need to find somebody in prime TV camera range, and every game have that tweet blown up on a poster board, and just be like, right here, right here,
Erin. It's right here, right here. Well, I saw someone get on TV the other day because they had a sign. And it had Carissa Thompson on it, and she featured it on the air. So, like, what? Here we go. Who can do it for me? I appreciate you in advance. Who's going to do it?
grassroots guerrilla marketing. That's
Yeah.
what we're going
Everybody, if you're going to a Packer game, that's what you have to do.
Blow it up. Put it out there.
Or don't
please,
go.
and thank
One or
you.
the other. Those are your
or
options.
just don't go.
Listen, if you make it happen, I will tell you right now, whoever makes it happen, I will get you a pair of tickets to a country concert in the Milwaukee/Green Bay area. I will make it happen for you. I will entice you with free things, and I will make it happen.
Those radio perks coming through.
That's what happens.
Let's talk about a little about the week that was in the NFL / Green Bay world. Let's start with our buy around segment. We had initially suspended this segment for further notice until the team decided to do buy around worthy things. This week wasn't as bad as last week, and because Shanna is here, we want to give Shanna a chance to be a part of the experience and get the whole vibe of Lombardi's Bar. We're going to bring this back for this week. So, Shanna, I'll let you kick things off here. Who would you like to buy around for this week?
Well, okay, so we had talked about this before that I could buy around for a Bills player, right? I mean, the
Indeed.
obvious choice would be the potential MVP, one Joshua Allen. But I would like to buy one for I'm going to transition. I would like to buy one because I had the opportunity to hang out with him. So on a personal level, I would buy around for AJ Dillon because I think he is a wonderful, wonderful human. And he's one of the better ones on the team. So I would buy it for AJ Dillon because he is a sweet, sweet, sweet man. Even though he said that he had better legs than Carrie Underwood. And I wanted to fight him about that, but I will still buy him one.
Bigger, yes. Better,
Yeah, that's bigger,
Agreed.
not always better.
Agreed.
Yes.
So that's who I would reward this week because I think he's wonderful. Again, trying to look on the bright side here, guys.
Yeah, well, and I mean, I think Carrie's legs probably got more work this week than his did with his whopping 4 touches that he had.
Yeah.
So yes. Oh yeah. She crushed it the other day. She had a show in Milwaukee and she was amazing. But the person that I am a little bit upset with, and I'm sure that a lot of people feel this way, is listen, I don't want to put the negativity out there, but Amari Rodgers, you got to catch the ball, buddy. You got to catch the ball. You have one job. That's all it is. So that's what I'm going to go with today.
Yeah,
right.
it was. I'm not going to fault him on that deep ball that he didn't get because that's a tough catch, especially not getting a ton of reps like we know he doesn't get, especially in game. But at some point, catching a punt is not this hard.
Right.
That's what I'm saying. Like that is literally your job, buddy. That's it. You catch the ball and then you run with the ball, or you just take that. This is where I'm going to stay. This is it. Like, this is not a difficult situation for him. And to me, it's frustrating. I'm like, how many chances does this guy get? Right. So that's who I will banish.
Yeah. I mean, I even questioned, like, at what point do teams start punting on like 3rd and long just because they're like, well, I mean, what's the difference?
He's going to fumble. Who cares?
Yeah, like
we're going to get the ball
50-50
again.
shot. We're going to get the ball down there. Let's go.
Exactly. And I don't think that we should have that out there. So that's what I'm going to say.
Or if you're the Packers, why even have somebody returning the punt? Just bring an extra guy up to rush the punter. That's what I say.
Anything would be better than that.
If we're going to count freshmen and JV, I can tell you this is incorrect. It's wildly incorrect.
Yeah, do like recess stuff. Does that all count? Because I was a bomb. I was actually shifty when I was a little kid. I was a shifty little kid out on the blacktop playing football.
Wow.
Who's the better, Shanna? Who's the better punt returner, me or Todd? Put you on the spot.
I don't know. I mean, that's a tough question. Who has better hand-eye coordination?
It's Todd.
It's me.
Oh, it's Todd. Okay,
it's 1,000%. It's
me.
me.
I don't want. Listen, again, I am all rainbows and butterflies. I'm not trying to make someone feel bad, but okay, Todd. I guess it's you. Why you, Todd?
I'm an athlete.
Oh, because I should not be handling the ball at all at any point. Like that's yeah.
Isn't it funny though? You see people on Twitter, like we were saying before, people are angry on Twitter, right? they're so mad. And you're like, I would love to see you throw a football, catch a football. And you know what? Also, it's like you're screaming on Twitter about someone messing up at their job, right? I would love to know where these people work and be like, listen here, Ben, you didn't print out the right amount of copies, Ben, you know, like whatever it is. And it's like, you know, at the end of the day, these are still human beings. Let's chill out. You don't have to threaten anyone. You can be mad without like getting like overly ridiculous with it, right?
No,
but I bet you guys get overly
it's
ridiculous.
Packers. It's Packers
Never
Twitter
mind.
shit.
I
It's
should
Packers
know my
Twitter.
audience.
Yeah.
I just
Come on.
I enjoy when you're like disagreeing about something that happened in the game and then it becomes like a personal attack about something that you do or have done. And you're like, hold on. What does that have to do with me being upset that Aaron Rodgers was inaccurate this week?
Yeah.
That all of a sudden I did something. Okay, sure. Like,
Yeah.
That's Dan's brand right there.
Whoa. I don't start Twitter fights, but I'll finish them. Todd,
Oh wow! Oh
Todd,
wow!
I'll let you buy a round next. Who you buying around for?
I'm gonna buy around for somebody said him over here in the chat already. Kingsley Engabari, another sack this week for a position that we need depth at.
Mm-hmm.
Great to see him kind of progressing along a lot faster than I think anybody really expected him to. So it's nice to see him out there getting his reps and making a difference. He's just fast.
Yeah. No, he's been a pleasant surprise in the first half of the season. That's for sure. Especially like you said, with a position that everyone like that was the thing was the depth going in was him. And so it was a huge question mark. And he's shown so far, especially with the injury issues with Rashawn, that he can be a reasonable fill-in guy. Speaking of fill-in guys, I'm going to go with Zach Tom, who I think this might be the game that we look back on and say this was the start of the Zach Tom takeover. Because Zach Tom has a prime opportunity to supplant himself pretty much anywhere he wants into this offensive line at this point. Guard, tackle, wherever. And he did such a great job on short notice against a pretty decent Washington pass rush. If I remember right, I don't think he gave up a pressure. Actually, the whole offensive line as a whole did actually pretty damn well. But I want to highlight Zach Tom because I love the kid in training camp. I wish that he'd gotten a little bit more time early on in the season when things were kind of shuffling around, but I'm glad to see him get it now at this point in the season. Like I said, I think this honestly could be the start, especially with the fall of Royce Newman. It's Zach Tom's time now. Real quick, Todd, who needs to pay the tab out of the myriad of choices? Who would you like to have pay the tab this week?
I know I jumped the gun. I did both of mine at the same time.
That's fine. Dan didn't stop you, and that's his job.
No,
so.
Yeah, she was on a roll. She was rolling. I wasn't going to stop it.
I'm going to go with Jair. Picked a really bad time to have the worst game of his career, and also, I mean, he wants to follow guys around. That's what he wants to do. And I don't know that Terry McLaurin's good, but when you look at the top receivers that he's going to face regularly, I don't know that Terry McLaurin is like top 3 even on that list. And he just got cooked all day.
Yeah. That was surprising.
And also let's remember who was throwing the ball too. It's not like he had a wizard back there slinging it.
Right. Yeah. That makes it doubly worse is that it was Taylor Heineke getting points off of you, man. That was just so uncharacteristic to see.
And actually, while we're on the topic of defensive backs, I do want to backpedal here. I'm going to buy another round for Rasul Douglas just out of pure pain for that guy.
Yeah.
He was so close to having so many big plays, which last week when we had Matt Schneidman on said, like, that's what this team needs is a big play from Rasul Douglas just to kind of turn the tides. and he had his hands on 3 picks,
Yeah.
and then had the fumble recovery for a touchdown that got called back. Like,
Oh, that was painful.
like
That was
it's
so painful. We were going nuts at the station. They were like, "Oh no!" And it's funny because at the station, there's a delay in the TV that I'm watching, so I hear people like, "Yes," and I'm like, "Oh, cool, something cool is gonna happen." So I'm like, "Yes," then I hear "No," and I'm like, "What's the no? What's the no?" Oh, that was terrible.
yeah, it was brutal. So I mean, hopefully Sewell can get a play that somebody doesn't get called for an awful penalty on again, and make something happen. But most of the time, our buy rounds are the guys we want to hang out with. It like I'm buying this one for Zool, and I'm setting it on the table in the back corner and just telling people like, "No, don't go talk to him. Leave him alone. Let him sit there and have that one." Like,
Let him have a minute.
he's not in a good spot right now. Just
Put a couple dollars.
Tabs.
Yep.
Yeah, put a couple dollars in the touch tunes for him. Let him pick whatever he wants. Set the mood.
Yep.
I
He
have
just plays
two.
Everybody Hurts on loop.
I have 2 pay the tabs this week. Number 1 is for a little company that's centered around the Detroit, Michigan area, but is a national chain, and that is Wing Boss. Because I made
Never
the
heard of 'em.
decision today.
Not a real place.
I'm a wing aficionado, so I don't know.
I made the decision today. I'm like, Shanna is coming on with us. I want buffalo wings, and I want to eat them on air, and I want to have this whole experience of buffalo wings and Shanna. And the best part about this store, Wing Boss, is that they have partnered with Game On Wisconsin and Lombardi's Bar favorite Jamal Williams for something that's called the Jamali Wally meal, which is 15 wings, half lemon pepper, half buffalo, Cajun cheese fries, and a soda. And that's all I wanted today. So I picked up my wife and my 9-month-old son, who is still getting over a cold, and drove them 45 minutes in Detroit traffic to the nearest Wing Boss, and that son of a bitch was closed.
Oh,
and so
no.
I put it on you, Wing Boss, for ruining my family's night. It wasn't me. I'm putting it all on you.
Howie's crying. I hope you're happy with yourself, Mr. Boss.
Oh, it was one of those where it's like we're 15 minutes away, and Howie starts going, and I'm like, son of a bitch. Like, they better be there, because if it's not, all of this is for nothing. And they were just a sign, like a little sign of things. Like it was like National Lampoon's Vacation, where it's like, sorry folks, the moose outside should have told you Wing Boss is closed today. And it was the worst drive home ever.
Well, first of all, they are poser wings, because you don't say buffalo wings. They're just wings. They're just wings. And like and I get it. People here say that, but like I just did this TikTok video. Like, if you're going to the Bills game, the Bills Packer game in Buffalo, here are the things you have to order. You order your wings mild, medium, or hot. If you were like, I would like buffalo sauce, they would be like, what?
For the
that's
record,
how you have to order them.
For the record, Labo, and this is the part of the story that's on me. Because online,
there it is.
They do not let you order online ahead of time. So I called, and nobody picked up the phone. And so I should have just bailed.
God damn it, Matt.
I should have bailed. But I wanted the wings for today, and I made the mistake. Getting back to my other pay the tab, it's a standing order now at Lombardi's Bar with Dan the bartender. QB1, number 12, pay the tab every time you come in. I'm done. I have moved on emotionally, spiritually from
Clearly.
him as my starting quarterback.
I see that. Yep.
I'll still root for him when he does good things, and I'm going to call him out when he does bad things. I would still love to see what he can do the rest of the season, But if you said somebody wrote an article today about when is the time to turn it over to Jordan Love this season, and I said you could talk me into it right now, and I think I would be at peace with it. So that's my standing. That's my standing. Pay the tab from here on out.
I
Dan-
understand what you're saying. I understand being frustrated, but I mean, that's your MVP guy right there. I don't know if I would give up just yet. I think that his attitude is very poor right now. I didn't appreciate his comments where he was basically saying, well, you know, and here's the thing. Is he correct? Yes. Are there guys who need to step it up, who need to be better? 110%. However, 12, I think you're also in that realm. I think you also need to step it up. So like, in my opinion, a leader doesn't do that. A leader doesn't throw their teammates underneath the bus. So that was a little bit of a really Aaron kind of moment, but I don't think that you take him out for Jordan Love. That is where I draw the line. But I totally agree with you that it's like, what's going on here? What are we doing and why?
I seriously could not believe that quote came across from him saying, well, guys that aren't playing well should maybe we should look at reps. And I wanted to be like, we're all trying to find the guy who's did this, Aaron.
Mm-hmm.
We all know who it is.
Hey,
that thumb, I think, is like more intense of an injury than he's letting on as well, which I also think is like a tidbit selfish. Like, are you taking care? What are you doing here? You know?
Exactly. That's the thing is he needs to understand when he's putting the team in the best position. Is he putting the team in the best position? Injury wise, play wise, whatever. Think about it as a leader, not as yourself. And I think that he doesn't quite understand that difference between being a good leader to the team or being a good mouthpiece for himself as a representation of a leader. I think he thinks he knows what a leader is, but I don't think he really has what it is.
Totally agree.
And this was the first week that I think I've not turned on him, but really put a lot of the blame for the game on him. Dan, as you know, I'm typically in his corner, but it was just ugly this week, and nothing that he said needs to changed. However, what I will say is, you've been around Packers Twitter long enough to know that, like, when the Bears or the Vikings do something like bring back a bad player or coach or something like that, and Packers Twitter gets excited about it, and we're like, that's how you should know that that's a bad idea, that we're excited about it. This is a Bears fan right here that wants us to move on to Jordan Love. If that tells you what the rest of the world thinks, stick with Aaron Rodgers. That's where to be.
Unless you're galaxy brain like me, I'm already thinking, Todd, I'll tell you what,
Sorry, Shan. I'm just going to mute him. He'll just wear himself out. And then we can.
I had a conversation on Sunday with my father where I was already looking ahead to the 2024 NFL draft.
Who we taking?
I don't know, because I didn't think that far ahead.
He was thinking about it, but he just didn't think it all the way through. But he was thinking about it. He was thinking about it.
Here's my thought process. We're gonna suck this year. This year's probably FUBAR, right?
It's a rebuilding
7
year.
games
Bills
in.
fans like to
7 games in.
Aaron leaves after this season. Next season, maybe we see what Jordan Love is, but there's a better than not chance that the Packers are picking top 5 in 2024. Where's the draft in 2024? Right down the street at Ford Field in my backyard. That's what I'm looking forward to. I'm gonna see the Packers picking top 5 in Detroit, and it's gonna be great for me. That's all I was thinking about.
So you're hoping the Packers do shitty. I would rather watch them like pick 32nd in my own backyard, personally.
I'm just trying to be realistic, Todd. I'm a realist at the end of the day.
They turn things around here. Aaron Rodgers has another MVP season next year, and they win a Super Bowl. He rides off into the sunset, Dan.
Yeah, I don't think that this is going to be his last year, because I can't see Aaron Rodgers tapping out if he didn't have a successful year. Not to say that this year can't be successful, but I agree with you. He's going to do something crazy, and that is going to be the end of his legacy.
think they trade him if he doesn't leave. I think they trade him. How close were they to trading him to Denver this past year?
Apparently not close because Denver never was even considering it. They were all in on Russ the entire time. Did you not listen to the press conference?
And what a fantastic pick that was. Let's ride, Danger. Let's ride.
Okay, Shanna, thank you for joining us today. We always appreciate you stopping by. Before you leave, though, I want to get it from you because you're already over here being the Bills fan that you are, saying like, "Oh, I'm scared of the Packers." What's the main thing you're worried about going into this game? Like the thing that screams to you the most, like this is what I'm most worried about when it comes to the Packers.
I mean, I think it's two things. You know, the Packers have lost 3 games in a row. Will they lose 4? I don't think so. And that's what freaks me out is that angry Aaron is going to come out and unleash what Aaron Rodgers does. And I also, this is something that I've struggled with this whole season, being a hometown Bills fan. When people hype up the Bills, they kind of get into their head and then they get beat by teams that everyone thinks they're going to crush. It's like too much pressure. And it being a Sunday night game, that freaks me out. So those are my issues. It's more nerves than anything. That's what's getting in my head for this team. It's like, I hope that those nerves.
Jets.
What do you say?
We are your New York Jets.
I mean, the Bills lost to like the Jags last year, and we were like, what the heck is going on? So that's what I'm a little bit nervous of. It's like, are the Bills going to Bills? Like, I hope they don't Bills. Like, I hope that they don't let me down. But at the same time, like, it'll be great to see the Packers get that momentum going again because they really desperately do need a win. I just don't want that win being this weekend. But yeah, it's gonna be a great time regardless. I mean, granted, yes, of course, it's the Sunday night game, but in my opinion, it is the biggest game that people are talking about. Seeing Aaron Rodgers and Josh Allen go at it, it's gonna be phenomenal, and I cannot wait to be there in person.
It'll be fun for somebody. It's either going to be fun for Shanna or for us. We'll see next week.
We'll see.
Shanna, thank you again for stopping by and filling in the role for Jimmy for a little bit. We always appreciate it. I'm putting the message out to everybody. Tag Aaron Andrews. I want to flood social media. Tag Aaron Andrews to get a hold of Shanna. We want to bring this Lombardi's Bar Bump to completion. Get Aaron Andrews to follow Shannon. That's key number 1. So
whoever is successful, you're getting concert tickets. I'm just saying.
I'm going to work super hard because there's a show that just got announced at AmFam this summer that I'm trying to go to. So
George Strait?
Got to go see the King.
And George Strait, Stapleton, and Little Big Town. The fact that Stapleton is not the headliner shows you how big this show is.
Yeah.
Shanna.
Well, make it happen, Todd.
I'm all over it.
Thank you, Shanna. And enjoy the game. Enjoy being back.
Bye, guys. Thank you.
Bye.
Thanks, Shanna.
Oh, all right. Let's jump into the second half of our show here because we have somebody in here that Todd.
I'm gonna zone out.
I have a little bit of a bone to pick. A little bit of a bone to pick here.
I assumed you would.
Our guest coming up. Ash. I was in London for 7 days, Ash.
You didn't tell me you were in London for 7 days, though, did you?
I thought I had. So maybe it is my fault.
I'm turning this around on you.
Dan is so mad at you that London isn't just a small town that you guys just bumped into each other in.
How did I not see you at Pret every morning?
Which Pret? There's like 200.
The one right outside Euston Station. I know. That's your Pret, right?
No, but how did you find London, though?
London was fantastic. I absolutely loved London. It was so much fun. All the touristy stuff obviously was cool, but just everything else. Yeah, I'm a terrible plan aheader. But no, everything in London was fantastic. The food place that we went to were amazing. My whole family was there. It was such a unique experience that those circumstances will never be able to recreate again, being there. And it was just really cool to experience it with all of my family and everything. So yes, London was great. And here, I don't know if you've seen my prize and joy, but my Queen Elizabeth II Platinum Jubilee commemorative plate that I bought from a little shop in Soho.
The big homie.
The big homie.
They love people like you to buy those commemorative plates. I guarantee.
No, we knew exactly. We walked in there, and there was like 6 of us, and we were just like, look, it looks like a little bus. It's so fun. There's just guys like Americans.
They hear the accent and they're like, oh, day is made.
Well, okay, real quick about that. Everyone in London smoking constantly. Is that a thing everywhere? Like, it was every morning, people ripping heaters all over the place.
Yeah, vaping is like pretty big in London as well. So yeah, I think I'm just used to it, but I don't really see it as much. Like if you go to, I don't know, like Italy or somewhere, that's like on a different level again. So I think I notice it more if I go over to like Europe and stuff. But yeah, it's a lot. Yeah.
Yeah, it was a lot. But let's transition from that a lot to the Packers a lot, because that's a whole nother bag to deal with. How are you handling the last 3 weeks?
I think I need a good therapist to have a chat with.
We are sponsored by BetterHelp. If the Packers are on a 3-game losing streak, use code Lombardi's Bar. No.
We need to make it happen, because I think there's going to be people like me out there who are going to need it. But yeah, I think one of my friends summed it up really well, and he's a Washington fan, and we were watching the game together this past Sunday, which was just horrific in itself. But he summed up quite well, because I've never, like as an NFL fan and as a Packer fan, I've actually never experienced this level of loss before in consecutive weeks and stuff. So this is all kind of brand new for me. And he was like, I've experienced it for years, like my entire life, etc. And I was like, okay, it's not like a pissing contest or whatever. But yeah, it's kind of been interesting, and just hearing like the commentary, hearing like everybody's thoughts, and everybody's got an opinion, which we're all entitled to. But man, people are all in on the Aaron Rodgers hate. And it is quite interesting to see kind of what people are saying, kind of like across the board. People who were just not in on Jordan Love like 4 or 5 weeks ago now want him to start and stuff instead. And I'm just like, damn, like there's still a whole lot more football to be played. I don't think we need to cancel our season just yet. I'm always the ever optimistic fan. It ain't over till like the fat lady sings, all of the above. But yeah, there's definitely a lot that needs to be sorted. And it better sort itself out before I come over to Green Bay myself and come and watch a live game at Lambeau Field. Otherwise, I will personally storm that front office and have a word with everybody there, and I will take over. I will run the show, and it's going to be great.
I like this. I like the idea of the War of 1812, but consisting literally inside the like block by block radius of Lambeau Field. I appreciate this. Okay, how do I ask this question? What would be worse for you?
Okay.
Watching the Packers lose in their first trip to London, or you watching the Packers lose in your first trip to
Don't
Lambeau?
even put that out there, Dan. Why would you even put that into the atmosphere, you dick?
I'm just like touching all the wood.
Yeah,
touch wood. You know what? Like, of course, it's going to be losing at home in Lambeau. I think, yeah. I mean, I cried after that game at Tottenham in London. I think I just got super emotional. It was just a heavy and long week with work. I think I had like 2 hours sleep as well the night before that game. But I was just super happy that I got to see like Aaron Rodgers like live in the flesh. Like he was like 40 feet away from me at one point. I had no idea what to do, what to say, and everything. It was great. But yeah, I mean, we have to win against the Titans, surely. But yeah, I think losing at home in Lambeau, that'll suck, because I mean, I paid a lot for a plane ticket as well. It's not just like for me just jumping on a train into London. Do you know what I mean?
Hey, I paid a hell of a lot of money for that
Yeah.
plane ticket to London. I feel you. That's why I wanted to ask, because I've seen it both now, unfortunately. Yeah. Okay. Let's look ahead to this week. Buffalo. How are you feeling about Buffalo? And let me ask you this question. With it being a Sunday night game, are you dreading that 1 a.m. kickoff time any more or differently, knowing kind of what the situation is?
Not really. I think because there's another London game happening this week, so I'm going to have another kind of like busy day. Going to do my classic tactical nap, and then be up for the 1 a.m. game. I'm not as kind of like nervous maybe as I probably should be, because the Bills are good and the Bills are looking dominant. I said from the get-go as well that they look like a Super Bowl winning team. So this should be a game and stuff where, you know, like a couple of weeks ago I would have said, oh, you know, if this is one of our losing games, so be it. I think it's going to be like a great lesson for kind of like the rookies, for some of the newer people on the team as well, to get to grips with and stuff. But now I'm kind of going into this weekend just thinking to myself, surely we cannot lose 4 games in a row. I mean, somebody's going to get fired at that point, straight after that game, if that's the case. But yeah, I think like I'm kind of almost excited as well. And I always say, like, every week on the Sunday slate of full games and stuff, there's always one upset game. And maybe it's our time to shine. Maybe just this is it. But yeah, as like I said before, I'm always the optimistic fan. I'm always just like, oh, maybe it's us. Maybe this could be it. Prove everybody kind of wrong. And everybody's just thinking to themselves, what even is this team? Why did they lose against the Giants and the Jets and Washington and then have suddenly won against Buffalo? Like, it makes zero sense. But then again, the NFL makes zero sense sometimes as well. Like, you can't make half of what's happening up. Like it's just wild in itself. But yeah, I'll have to say, like, I'm a little bit nervous, but I'm not as nervous as I should be. If we were kind of like on a bit of a winning streak going into this game, if that makes sense.
Well, and I think it helps that, like, Dan, you asked me earlier, like, just kind of being numb to it at this point, where you're like,
yeah,
the expectations are pretty minimal at this point.
Mm-hmm.
Losing to the Bills, if you would have looked at this stretch of 4 games and said the Packers are going to lose 1 game out of this, you assume it's the Bills.
Yeah.
So the fact that they've already lost 3 and you're like, all right, sure, whatever. They lose to the Bills. The Bills are really damn good and they're coming off their bye. So that would make a ton of sense. We did have this comment here from Katie, talking about your question to Aaron in the presser. How, like, was that the highlight of your week? Just getting to talk to some of those guys?
Oh my God, that was insane. Matt LaFleur, so he came in first and he was such a grumpy asshole. It was so great. But then I had to like think to myself, if I just like literally got off like an 8-hour flight, probably not much sleep, and then got told, right, you're going straight out to practice, and then you got to have like 80 cameras shoved in your face, talk to a whole bunch of people, probably with like minimal coffee in you as well, I'd probably be a bit of an arsehole too. But no, he was great. And then he spotted, like, I was wearing my Packers jersey, my Packers jacket, and I was like the only person in the media presser who dressed that way. Everybody else was kind of suited and booted, wearing everything else. And I was like, I felt really out of place. But he spotted me and he said hi, and I was like, oh my God, it's Coach.
Did you give him a piggyback ride?
Huh?
Did you give him a piggyback ride?
No. The amount of people I showed that picture to, though, it's so great. It was like, oh, that was so funny. But yeah, and then Aaron Rodgers came in, and hey, I put all of his like mistakes and stuff to the side. It was phenomenal to just be in kind of the same room as him, kind of listening to him speak and stuff. I could have like listened to just him chat about anything for like hours on end and stuff. So that question, like just being able to ask him a question was amazing. I was literally shitting myself. I was so nervous. And the amount of people afterwards, he said, "Oh, you sounded great, really professional." And I was like, my leg was shaking, my hands were shaking. I was holding on to like my mates either side of me for support, and I was like, "Please film this," because like my hand was going all over the place. So I'm happy it came across great. But yeah, that was pretty sweet. Just to be able to like meet a couple of the players and just see the team kind of like live in person. So it just makes it even more exciting to be able to come over to like Green Bay and Lambeau in a couple of weeks and see them again on like home soil. And I always I've said to a couple of people as well, I find it weird that the first time I've seen my team play live is in London, out of all places. It's not like an away game over in America even. It's in London, and that was pretty weird. So I think I'm in a nice little niche community of people who were kind of in the same boat on that one as well.
I had the same experience the first time I saw my team, Manchester City, in Green Bay. How ironic.
Oh, I love that.
Sorry, Todd, I had to bring soccer back into it.
Yeah, no, I expect nothing less from you at this point. I expect the bare minimum from you most of the time, Dan. So you're absolutely killing it there, nailing it. You get it exceeds expectations.
A sunshine sticker.
Yeah. What was the percentage of Packer fans in the stadium? I know that it looked like there were a ton all over London. What was it like in the stadium? Was it pretty dominant Packer fans?
Yeah, it was definitely like it. For me, it felt like a home game, and a lot of Americans and stuff who were over as well. They kind of just confirmed that they were like, "This is a home game," and they couldn't kind of quite believe it either. I'd probably say maybe about like 65% Packers, which is a lot for like a London game, because usually it's every single team shows up and is represented kind of thing. So I'd say like 65, maybe like 25% Giants, and they were dotted around like a good amount in their numbers, like grouped together. And then you, of course, like classic London game, you had like every other team showing up and stuff as well. So it did feel good. And just the vibe actually was really nice. And compared to the London game the week before with the Saints and Vikings, it just felt like something was in the air, and it was really nice to see. Obviously, not the outcome that we bloody wanted. But yeah, no, it was, I think, yeah, it just felt nice. So hopefully that gave kind of the players as well, at least a little something to kind of be happy with, knowing that, fans did turn up for them. And, they were kind of excited and stuff to see them play, because obviously being away from home, that can always be really, quite maybe intimidating, and, puts a lot of pressure on people as well. But yeah, it was nice to see kind of the Packers coming out in their numbers.
What's the most popular jersey you see at a London game? Is it the Jags? Because I feel like they highlight Jags a lot on games that aren't Jags games.
Yeah, so I think it's just because like the Jags have played so much in London that they've just kind of given them to us. But I mean, the game this week, Jags Broncos, you know what? I hope it could be a real good game. It could be really close, but I mean, people are kind of feeling very underwhelmed about the game this Sunday. But I mean, you get your classics. You always see like Tom Brady, like Patriots jerseys, all of that stuff as well. But I don't know, actually. There were a lot of Favre jerseys actually at the Packers game as well. I don't know, like, did you see a lot of Favre jerseys? When you were here?
I was walking around. I saw tons of Packer fans all over, no matter where I went. I don't remember seeing a lot of Favre jerseys. I saw a lot more of those era players, like you get like a Reggie White or Sterling Sharp or that kind of stuff. Not many Favre jerseys that I saw walking around.
Favre jerseys sightings are down this season.
Yeah, they're
even in
dropped.
Green Bay. Yeah.
So I saw 8, and then I also saw 4 Vikings fog jerseys and stuff as well. And I was like, interesting.
The
But like,
ultimate dummies.
yeah, but nobody was giving them any grief and stuff. So I was just like, you do you kind of thing. But yeah, I'd say probably like New England, all kind of like old school kind of Miami Dolphins as well, because they're a pretty popular team over here in England as well. So like you always see them going around. But yeah, not I'd say a fair amount of Jags jerseys, but not too many. And we always like playing what we call like jersey bingo. So like you always have to like tick off the jersey and stuff that you see straight away. And the last ones that you see around London are probably always going to be either Titans or Colts. They're not, their fan base and stuff is just quite small over here.
Interesting.
Mm.
Okay, let's talk about the game itself on Sunday.
Do we have to?
I'm okay. I'm okay if you want to skip it. No, we're gonna ask guys.
Let's just pretend it's not.
What are you most looking forward to this week? Is there something you're looking forward to this week?
You know what? I just want to see, like, regardless, I think, of the score at the end. Obviously, we want a win, but I think regardless of the score, what would be nice to see is just improvement on certain plays. So like I think everything that we've seen over the past couple of weeks, and even this Sunday just gone, we didn't convert any third downs, and that's the first time in 23 years in Aaron Rodgers' career that that's happened. So for example, this week it would be nice to see all third down completions done. That would be like an improvement and stuff. So it would just be nice to see an improvement on plays, just to see, just so to see that we're moving in the right direction, if that makes sense. I'm a big fan of Aaron Jones, and I'm constantly screaming at any screen that I'm watching, and I'm screaming at London and stuff as well. I was like, just give him the ball, just run the ball. So I'd quite like to see like more like running games and stuff. Might be a bit difficult against Buffalo and their defense, but hey, it'd be nice to see just people getting a bit more of the action and stuff, rather than Aaron Rodgers trying to throw it and what would be nice actually? Some of our receivers just not dropping the ball. Just a game where the ball doesn't get dropped. That would be nice. We're not asking for much, especially in the NFL, where you think to yourself, catching is quite a key skill without dropping the ball. So it'd be nice this week. Just no fumbles. I'm going with that.
That is where the bar is. Complete a third down and catch footballs.
That's it. And then good game. That's what we need.
Yeah. You honestly, like, much like what I asked for from Dan, you're asking for the bare minimum on that.
Yeah.
That shouldn't be too much to ask from an NFL team with a competent quarterback, one of the best ever. Make some third down conversions, throw catchable balls. Guys, catch the ball. You're in the NFL, and we'll go from there.
Exactly. Yeah. So the bare minimum, and then we'll think about the week after when that comes, and add maybe a potential other basic skill in the mix as well.
There's more games after this one.
We'll take it week by week. It's okay.
All right, let's jump into some bar bets here for the game this week. Aaron Rodgers going up against a fairly formidable Bills pass rush. Over under 4 sacks on Aaron Rodgers, because I think this could get ugly, ugly early. 4 sacks over under on Aaron Rodgers. Todd, I'll let you lead off.
5 Bakhtiari's under. That's 4 is a lot. The offensive line looked much better last week, and they were definitely making an effort to get the ball out of Aaron's hand faster. So I don't see this team getting to him a ton. Definitely hit the under on that one.
Okay. Ash?
Okay, I'm going to go under as well, but I'm not as confident. So I'm going to say 2 Bakhtiari's under. And I think that's just because I'm now a little bit skeptical and I'm a little bit unsure after a 3-week losing streak. Yeah, because there's a possibility that it could happen. And I think after a couple of sacks and stuff, maybe the confidence could slip.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna go two Bakhtiari's under, but yeah, that's just because I'm not 100% confident. Yeah.
I'm gonna go with Ash. I'm slightly more confident. I'm gonna go 3 Bakhtiari's over on that one. The second one, Josh Allen, over under 75 rushing yards for the Gazelle that is Josh Allen. I'll start off with this one. I'll say 5 Bakhtiari's hammer the over. I think Josh Allen runs roughshod over this defense. Todd?
Yeah, I think I'm going to go 5 Bakhtiari's over as well. This team has struggled this season, one against the run. We've seen quarterbacks be able to scramble against him pretty easily, and he might be the best runner out of the group that they face so far. And Justin Fields maybe, but again, whatever. So yeah, I think over Allen can definitely break one out and get a good chunk right there.
Yeah, Ash.
Yeah, I've got to agree with you guys. 5 Bakhtiari's as well. Josh Allen is good, and like you guys have said, we've struggled to stop the run. So I'm not going to be surprised if he goes far over that figure this Sunday.
Yeah. Okay, here's one. The point spread right now is the Bills by 11.5. I'm going to bump that up to 14. Do the Packers cover a 14-point spread on Sunday? Todd, I'll start with you.
5 Bakhtiari's, yes. They cover and they win.
Wow. Okay. Hot Todd coming in. Ash, what about you?
Yeah, I'm gonna take exactly the same. 5 Bakhtiari's and we win as well. If it goes to like a 14-point spread, I'm taking that every day. That's a nice juicy figure. And I think you'd be silly maybe not to jump on that.
Well, I'm gonna go 3 Bakhtiari's and I'm gonna say no, because
shocker.
I do think that this one might get ugly. So there it is. Winning by 10 points. Okay.
I'm confident, but whoa.
Maybe a couple.
Yeah. Ash, thank you again for taking the time to come on with us again. We know that it takes a lot to do that and stay up with us, so we always appreciate it. Enjoy the London game this week. Are you making a trip over to Germany for the following week?
Yeah, I am actually. I'm making my way around to NFL games this year, which is always lovely. But that should be a good game. And I think, as I've said, the past 7 weeks of my life, Tom Brady, I feel, should have stayed retired. But I think I'm just excited to see him play now in Germany, out of all places. And against Geno Smith, that could be the weirdest game ever. But yeah, that'd be really good. And the German fans are wild as well. They came over in their numbers as well for the London games.
I ran into a group of them.
Yeah,
they are wild.
They're hardcore, and they were really big fans of the European League when that was happening. So they know their stuff, and God love them as well. They can drink. Trying to go pint for pint and stuff with them is amazing. But yeah, so I'll be over for the Germany game, and then I'm back in London for one day, and then hopping on a plane over to Green Bay the next day. So it's going to be a juicy 2 weeks of NFL football on the move.
Perfect. She is Ashley NFL. Follow her on Instagram, TikTok, everything. For Jimmy, for Nick, for Todd, for Dan, saying cheers, everybody. And as always, no matter what, go Pack Go.